Looks like we're back in the block again here, Seth.
We are, yeah.
Welcome to our Wednesday edition of Dark Matters. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out. How you doing, Seth?
Not bad. I have to admit, that was a tough one. Getting in today.
Yeah. Getting up today was tough. Getting up and getting into the looking outside and seeing that it was blackout.
I think it's the psychological nature of being dark again in the mornings.
Well, it adds that element of the misery that you so enjoy chasing after. So
sometimes question that.
But you know, again, this is one of those things that when I talk to people about this and they say it's, you know, why are you doing this? It's because this is the worst part of my day. Yeah. And no one could treat me as bad as I treat myself. So it's a good thing.
That's true, yeah.
So we're back here. I mean, it's just like going to the gym. I mean, the gym is where you punish yourself. You know, you tear things up and rebuild. And the gym is about going to that place where most people would rather just go straight home and into the warmth of their car and their music. And,
Comfort,
yeah. So last night, really excited about this. We closed our first client for our business.
Went out and talked to them.
Yeah, we went out to our first client for our business and we closed the deal, and they were very excited. She was like, yeah, we want to sign on with you guys. Like, I was still like, you know, 3/4 of the way through my pitch. And I said, I still have more to tell you, but there's a good point. There's a time to learn to know when to shut up.
Yeah.
So she said, yep, I want to go with you guys. And on the way back, I was telling Gabby, this is it. We started something with a thought.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That's the coolest thing about it. You know, it's like, I remember you talking about it at work, just the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, well, it's coming to fruition.
Yeah, it's absolutely coming to fruition.
It's pretty cool to see that whole process kind of take place and quick.
Yeah,
like, it hasn't been that long since you've been talking about it.
No, and that's the thing, is it doesn't take you know, a manufacturing plant or getting raw resources shipped in from China. It just takes sitting down and coming up with an idea. So we are 20% of the way to our goal. We're hoping to have our goal to be have 5 clients by the time we leave for Croatia. So we got 1, and nice little place out in Souk. A little further than we wanted to be. We kind of wanted to stay in the Western communities, but we'll take it. It's a win.
Lots of potential there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
This is where you start getting those referrals from too.
Yeah, we start getting things in, and you know, she was eager. She didn't know much about the business, and so she was excited to hear my thoughts on it. So that was the big win yesterday. So part of that whole positive thinking, you know, look for opportunities. And the way this idea came about was, what's a pain in the ass in my life? What do I need in my life? And then that's what we like. Well, it's a pain in the ass to run my short-term rental, so maybe I could take that pain in the ass on, lean into that misery, and do that for somebody else. So yeah, so that's a
good way to look at it, because it's almost like you hear it all the time when you, like, they say when you go to a new place of work and you're new and you want to, like, make a name for yourself, is you go in and you start asking, like, what's the job in this place nobody wants to do?
Yeah. And
you become the guy that gets that job done, and then you're seen as that, and then you move up real quick because
you're a problem solver.
The bosses see that, right?
Yeah, you become a value to what you're working on. So the sun is just poking up. I think we'll get a shot of that. It is definitely dark out here. It's a nice now. It's a bit twilight, but that the water is inky black.
Yeah.
And I forgot how much I hated walking into water that you can't see the bottom. You can't see into it at all.
Yeah.
But
just think next Wednesday too will be even darker.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of shocking how quick it goes from that summer to the blackness
like
of
somebody hits the light switch.
And then in a couple of months, about 2 months, we're going to have daylight savings,
Yeah.
which what will happen then? It'll be later for a minute or two.
Yeah.
That's right, because we fall back. So this would be, well, wait a sec. This would be 6 o'clock in the morning? Or no, 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so, yeah, because that's the way I always looked at it.
It'll still be dark.
It'll still be dark.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, it'll still be dark and cold.
Yeah, it's dark and cold, and that really is the gist of what we're doing here.
I was thinking about it the other day. You were talking about it, and it's been kind of on my mind a little bit as an interesting thing. But I remember you talking about at work the other day, how you have all the things in place to be able to leave work and to essentially retire from FMF. But you feel like it's hard. Like there's a hold on you still that's hard to break.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like how many people go through that similar thing where it's like they have all the pieces in place to change their lives for the better, or to not have to do something that they don't want to be doing necessarily, but there's that invisible hold.
Yeah.
That just won't release really. And that's an interesting thing.
It's that pattern of comfort.
That pattern of routine.
The routine, the comfort and routine. And it becomes, at first, you struggle to go to work every day. It's like, well, first you love your job. Everyone who starts a job, the first couple of months, they love it. And then after about 6 months, the repetition starts to set in. It's like, oh, this again, like every Monday morning. And you start to look, and then when the holidays come, you go, wow, that was really great. I wonder how could I make that my life? How could I make that reality? And I worked with a man named George Linger, and he actually owned a business. He was a fine millwork business. And I was the sales guy, and he was the guy who ran the company. And we were talking before I went on holidays. He always had conversations with his employees before they went on holidays. About what they're doing, what their direction is, where they see themselves. And I asked him, like, that's really interesting. I've never had that sit down, the day before my holidays where the boss calls me to the office and he says, well, most people quit their job soon after their holidays. And they spend the 2 weeks thinking, how can I not go to work?
Right.
And the funny thing is
that thought.
You do it long enough, and eventually, I still complain about going to work, but then when someone goes, well, then why don't you just retire? It's like, oh, that's a daunting mountain to look at the bottom of and just go, okay, we could do this. So, and there's lots of thoughts about it. Like, when you're creating wealth, you want to work as hard and as long as you can, but you also, there's a second side to that is also the part where someone else could, technically come in and have a job.
Right.
So, there is that aspect too, and that's the union mindset, where it's like, it's someone's job you've got there, so you could let it go and let someone else come and step in. Yeah. But then there's also the part about is it being lazy, is working for myself and quitting? Because right now, I mean, here's my day. I got up this morning at 3:30. I finished my book, finished it. Now we're done the rough draft, and then I was going to do the workout. Normally do a workout, do my languages, then come down here, hop in the cold water, and then go to work. And so it's not as though quitting work would be less work. It would just be more time to focus on work.
Open up more time for the other thing.
Yeah. So, but it becomes that almost like that scene out of Shawshank Redemption where the guy doesn't want to leave prison. Right. He's been in there too long. And I mean, work in my opinion is freedom. And but it's that routine, it's that comfort, that habit that we get into, that and this is the thing about doing this cold water, is it breaks all that up. Because, well, the funny thing is it does break it up, but we've also said when we're on holidays, kind of miss it.
Kind of miss it, yeah.
Kind of miss that spike in the day. I guess it's something to just be cognizant of, is getting to that point where it's the routine becomes the comfort.
Yeah, knowing when to say, I'm good.
Yeah, and shake things up.
Yeah.
Shake things up.
I heard a saying the other day that I kind of liked. I never thought about it that way. But it was like the person said, people always tell you to have a good work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
But really, you should just always choose life.
Yeah, wow. Deep. You see, and
when I hear that, I always think like you're trying to balance work and life equally.
Yeah.
But no, life should always have the edge.
Wow, well, that's poignant.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
I know, I was like, that's interesting.
See, Cinnamon's out there.
Cinnamon's out
popping
there.
up and down, checking us out. It's funny, because when she pops up, her snout is always aimed at us. So, one of my things this year was to never say I'm too busy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so when someone says, "Can you do something?" it's never going to be, "Oh, I'm too busy to do that."
Right.
I'm just going to say yes. And but now I'm starting to realize that that's becoming my life, is the busyness of everything, right. the focus on trying to do everything. And I'm not going to stop, not this year, because that's my goal this year, is just to keep working through all that stuff. But I start to wonder, like, where's that, you talk about that choose life, like work life balance, and it's like choose life. Well, what does that look like when that's what you got, right? I mean, my daughters are doing their own thing. Everything's just kind of, my life tends to be on autopilot. Now I'm kind of leaning into the stuff.
I feel like you'll see that though, when you're in Croatia, when you're in Bali, when you're in those places, because you're choosing life.
Yeah, definitely will be choosing life in a couple of weeks when I'm up in the Dalmatian Islands there in the Adriatic Sea. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We're here 5:30 in the morning on Wednesdays at Esquimalt Lagoon. Other places during the week, we're trying out new beaches around Vancouver Island. New cold water to get into, new scary, miserable situations to immerse ourselves in. But we're here every Wednesday at 5:30. You're more than welcome to join us. Embrace the cold, embrace the dark, embrace the misery. Subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends. Click the notification button and let us know you like it by hitting that like button.
Get in the fucking water.